Hit it.
Alrighty.
In my brain, white voice. Slap at the biz, man.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The time is exactly 5 minutes past 1 p.m. on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. You are tuned into Agape FM, and right now we are going to discuss some incredible stuff. In studio with me is Siyanda Snyman.
Yes,
Hey, how's it, Siyanda? How's it, man?
I'm good, and you, sir? I'm all good.
Good, man. So, we are going to discuss about your business,
Sure.
Itaeta. So, before we launch into it, I'm just going to let all our listeners and viewers know the Midday Talk is where we discuss business. We have a business chat, and we have had quite a few people. We've had multi-millionaires with us. We've had influencers, movers and shakers of Port Elizabeth with us, and this is just another incredible show with an incredible man with an incredible business idea. So, and it's not just an idea, they've already put it into practice, which we really encourage all entrepreneurs to get off the starting blocks and to unleash their ideas. So, what's Itaeta all about? I'm just going to read the bio quickly. So, Itaeta is a newly formed company within the ICT sector. That's Information Communication Technology.
Yes.
All right. And they offer language learning services. They are a language learning app which strives to bridge the gap between language barriers in South Africa by making use of English and the African languages, with the first language being the IsiXhosa language at the moment, and hopefully making a change in the education sector. How the Itaeta app came about is that it is a new app launched through the Enactus MTN ICT challenge, which requires participants to find a technological solution to issues which are faced in either the agriculture, health, or education sector, making the use of design thinking methodology. They chose to focus on the education sector and came up with a language learning application concept, where they were then shortlisted after 2 stages of the competition. Following submission for the 3rd phase of the competition, they made it into the program and are currently in the stage of developing the language learning application as a part of the prototype phase. They offer service plans, and they are the basic. So there are 2 service plans: the basic language plan, which is free, and the premium language plan, which will be paid for. So in studio with me, I have Siyanda Snyman, which I believe is one of the directors and founders
Yes.
of the business. So Siyanda, I just wanted to find out where did this idea come up from? What, there's so many things that sometimes we think about. Where did this idea come about?
You know, when you're reading the bio, I was like, I don't have to be here because that's everything you covered. So basically, how Itaeta came about.
Yeah.
It was a competition from MTN.
All right.
They partnered with a non-profit organization called Enactus, right? Before I'm able to dwell into how we got in, I need to explain what Enactus is, right?
Cool.
So Enactus is a non-profit organization that's global, right? And then from there, it's in different countries, in Africa, New Zealand, all those countries. And we also do have a South African branch. So from within the South African branch, it's found in universities. So now we're also university students.
At NMU.
Okay. So it's called Enactus Mandela University, right? So now the goal of Enactus is to create business solutions to social issues, right?
Okay.
So they encourage students at universities to come up with solutions to whatever challenge that they find. And one of the sponsors of Enactus South Africa is MTN, right? So now with them being partners and many other companies, so they come up with competitions where now this university level, they will now, MTN is an ICT company, so they will say now, we've got an MTN ICT challenge. You need to come up with a solution in one of those sectors which you have mentioned, which is the health, education, and agriculture. And when you come up with your solution, it needs to be in 3 forms. It's either going to be an app, USSD, or a game, right?
Okay.
So we chose the education sector.
All right.
And we chose an app because we've got people that within the society that have created apps. So it would be best that we create our solution with using an app, right? So when we enter the competition, and then they shortlist, as you have mentioned, they shortlist people, and then we made it into the top 14, which was announced last year during a national competition that Enactus has. And then we were shortlisted in that. It's quite crazy because at first we had thought that we didn't make it because they said they're going to announce top 12. I need to mention because so they said they are going to announce top 12, and we were like, all this effort for nothing. And then about a week or two later, our coordinator from the head office calls us and like, do you guys actually know that you guys actually made it? So, because there were now reports that needed to be handed in, but it turned out because everything was virtual, and they were hosting a competition for the first time virtual, and they were like, there was a problem with the video, hence they never got to your guys' name.
Okay.
So, right. And how you come up with the solution to whatever sector that you chose, you need to follow what they call the design thinking process, right? Which is at first, which is the empathize phase, the ideate phase, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So those are the steps that we followed. And this is where we are. We're at the prototyping phase now. So we came up with all the solutions. So we chose the language, as one of the solutions or the challenges in the education sector. Because what we had found when we were doing our research is that when you come to universities, that people that do not have a background in a certain language, for example, English, is that you come into university and you realize that everything it's English. Everything you've been taught in English. And when we were doing our research and we were asking some teachers, is that you find that in people mainly coming from the rural students coming from the rural background, is that they would be taught most of their languages in IsiXhosa, right? For example, they would be taught in IsiXhosa. Now, when coming into university, it's a total different game. You are taught everything in English, and now we believe that in Itaetas that does affect your confidence when you come into university.
All right.
So which is why we came into providing the solution.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Because you basically mentioned a little bit of the problem solving part of it. I want to find out why the name Itaeta. What does it mean?
All right.
Where did it come from as well?
So it actually came with my business partner, Nelly Sandaledi.
Right.
And at first, because when she proposed the name to me first, I was like, this name, I don't want this name. Because she sent me a WhatsApp, she was like, Itaeta. And then she sent it to me. I was like, no, man, that doesn't sound right. Itaeta. So we're going through a couple of names. So we're trying, I think Swahili was also there. So we're trying now to come up with what is language in other languages. So we're going through all the names and we're like, they don't sound right. And then she came up with, and then I was like, okay, let's revisit that name you came up with, which was like, she was like, Itetha. I was like, oh, is that how you pronounce it? Itetha means I speak. So that's what she told. I was like, oh, all this time, I thought you were saying Itaeta. I was like, that doesn't sound right. So that's how the name came about, which means I speak, which is a language, it's in Xhosa. Right. Itaeta, I speak.
Wow.
Yes.
That's incredible, man. All right, you talked about the competition, the MTN Enactus partnership. And how did you guys transition from competition to business? Because was that like something you had planned, or did it just like, oh, well, we can actually make this into a business idea?
So when it comes to Enactus in any competition that happens, whatever project that you come up, it needs to, at the end of the day, become a business.
All right.
So we had already known that it must be a business. But we didn't know how soon it was going to be a business, because we're still in that. It's a project.
Yes,
and then once the project was done, so we do consult with MTN every now and then. So they're like, okay, guys, it's time for you guys to move on from being a project now. You guys need to register into becoming a business now. So moving forward, everything that you do, you are doing in a business manner, because they do find you as well to start your project.
Wow, that's
so
incredible.
we had already known, but now when you're stepping into the business, because for my partner and I, it's actually our first time running a business, and you look at businesses and you think, okay, no man, project, this I'm gonna do. Once you get started, it's really different, and you're finding challenge after challenge after challenge, because you think everything is just smooth thing. So it's been a challenging transition, but we really want to get into it, and we really want to learn. Yes.
Awesome. So you said it's in its prototype stage still.
Yes.
So this is where like you trying all the different problems, throwing at it, and trying to see what is it gonna be able to carry this kind of capacity and all the problems. So you mentioned also about we. You've been talking about we like a lot. So how many people are involved?
All right. So at the moment, we're about 5. So we've got Nelisa and Dalini, which is our co-founder as well, one of the directors. And then we've got Georgie Rex, who's our researcher and / administrator. And then we've got Lily Tusterman, which is also our administrator, and she's also being part of the managing with Nelisa and I. And then we've got Prashant Raga, who's assisting us with our treasury and accounting. So we're a team of 5 people.
Okay, cool. So you basically are spearheading the project and stuff like that.
Nelisa,
All right. Are you guys gonna launch into the iOS and Android platform? So how are you going to launch it?
All right. So just before I get into that, so one of the requirements of the competition is that first have it on WhatsApp.
All right.
Before you go into creating your app and don't go into iOS.
Okay.
So currently we are still trying to. We're on the WhatsApp line, so you can access some of our services through the WhatsApp line. Right now, once we have got that right, we will then now move to Android, because when we're speaking to one of the software developers, they advise that Android is the cheaper option, and it's quicker to get into Google Play Store than App Store from iOS, and iOS is even more expensive to create, and we are working with a limited budget. So we're still in those stages. So now we're still on our WhatsApp line, and now we're also trying to get everything there perfectly, because MTN, what they had said is that in the previous years you would go straight into the app, right? There was no social, there was no WhatsApp, or I think MTN has what they call IOBA.
All right.
So what they mentioned is that what they found from the previous cohort is that people create the app, and then once because they give you the money to test your ideas. That what they found is that few months down the line, it turns out it turns out for the cohorts is that they actually, that the solution that they came, it's not really something that they needed, but now they don't really have the money now to go back and change everything, because they've used most of the budget that they were given. So now, obviously, when it comes to WhatsApp, it's really, really different. It's a cheaper option, and with that, you are able to create a market for your solution. So we are now still at the WhatsApp line, and then once we've done developing our app, we will then look into going to Android
and stuff like that. So talking about the app, so who's the brains behind the app, and in terms of, because I know is there somebody, all of y'all are doing coding and stuff like that, or is it like how is that?
No, so when we're initially recruiting for people to assist us with the project, we had created so the positions were administrator, researcher, and then we wanted software developers. So we wanted 2 software developers. So one would be handling the WhatsApp line kind of side, and then the second one, which was Sabelo Guija, he would be he would be developing the app for us, right? So because he's a IT student, he knows what he's doing. So he's been part of the team. So he's been creating the app.
Yeah.
But even with that, when it comes to business,
I know, hectic.
yeah, everything is going well. Everything is going well. You think everything is going well, and then last minute, waking up at night, you're seeing messages. So, and I think it's just part of business, you know. But I think one of the key things is persevering and not giving up. You know, so it's just like, because you were like you now messing up with all the plans that we had.
I know.
But now that also gives us an opportunity, because I mean, in things is that it's either you learn or you just choose to moan and So we now with the software developers, we're still in other stages. We're still in other stages trying to find somebody.
You know, like that's one thing, you know, with running a business and also like working with people about management and communication, and because you have deadlines, I'm sure you've got goals, and you want to achieve this thing in X amount of time. And when you have you know, somebody just sending you like midnight, you know, kind of text and like, sorry bruh, you know, something came up, you know, and what have you. So how do you handle, you know, such, because I know, like, I call them setbacks or stuff like that.
I think one of the things that my business partner and I is that don't panic. First things, don't panic. And I think we really have a committed team when it comes to that. You know, when you work with people, sometimes you tell them that, guys, at 9 o'clock we need to have this is just happened. We need to have a meeting. These guys are willing, and they were like, okay, we guys need to find a solution moving forward, right? And one of the things when this happened, and I think my business partner and I were like, okay, we've been waiting for it. You know, you kind of prepare for something like this, but you don't want it to happen. And I think we listen to him. What are your reasons for not wanting to continue? They're like, okay, that does make sense. So now it's really up to my business and partner and I to go now. When we assess the risk, now we just need to go to the solution that we have for this certain risk. So so I think one of the things that we had found is that it's really important to, because what we tried to get somebody within the team, right? And what we have found is that it's rather better to get an independent company, right? Instead of trying
outsourcing.
Outsource and instead of trying to do everything yourself within the organization, trying to save money, because at the end of the day, it's going to cost you. Because my business partner will tell you, I will try to save everything that we have. And so we took a decision that it's better that we now approach a company that knows, okay, this is the deadline that I've been given by these people, and I will need to make sure that I meet that deadline. So,
and you know, talking about outsourcing and delegating, you know, not within but without the team, sometimes you might think that in the short run is expensive, you know. But looking in the long run, you know, you get results. That's exactly what you want, results. Because there's commitment involved, you know, rather than from within, then you have to build the whole Lego piece from, you know, down up, and it can be like quite overwhelming. Rather use some professional, you know, who's already, you know, like, you know, there's deadlines and everything set to it. Okay, you mentioned something about, I think this is a statement, probably like some sort of motto or something about the app, and you said it's a must for individuals looking for a convenient and personalized language learning experience. Cool. And I want to focus on two words that you said there: convenient and personalized.
all right.
Okay, how is the app gonna do that?
All right. Obviously, in terms of convenience, it's an app. You don't have to go to classes, right? And it's convenient in that whatever. So obviously now we're doing things virtually, right?
Yes.
As you did mention when you started that we've got a premium plan. So now with the premium plan is that you work with tutors, right? we know that for most of the we said we target the people that we want to target is that sometimes they're at work, others or sometimes they're at school, and they can only be there after hours, right? So we cater for those people that want to learn after hours, right? And what we do is that in terms of personalized, is that what we found with the other apps or within the sector or offering language services is that when they offering you the solution is that it's one base. So it's basically you go into the app, you learn, and you play those games, whatever, something like that. So what we want is that we want to customize it for you, because some of the things that are being offered for language, those are some things that you might not need, right? So when you choose the premium plan is that we connect you to one of our tutors, right? So you go to our tutors. So for the first time you encounter them, is that you guys would have like a 30-minute consultation where the tutors now are trying to get to understand where exactly are you slacking when it comes to learning that certain language. And then what they will do is that they will try to create a lesson plan that is specifically designed for you, right? So yeah, and then for that is also that and it's in your convenience is that you want to have it via WhatsApp call, a WhatsApp video call. You want to have it via Teams or Zoom, wherever it's more convenient. Or do you want to have a phone call where it's convenient for you? So we will offer that to you, right? And what we also do find is that sometimes those things that we do have on the basic plan you don't need, and maybe you just struggling with your tests, right? You let your tutor know that, hey, when it comes to my tests, my English test, I'm really not doing that great. So your tutor maybe will then ask, maybe can I see some of your tests so I can just really do a diagnosis of where I can assist you. So we try to personalize and customize everything according to your needs.
All right. Whoa. Okay. Awesome. That sounds incredible. Sounds the implementation though. That's where you will know. That's where you know. Okay. Let's talk about effectiveness. We talked about convenience and personalization. Effectiveness. Well, we know there's things like TEFL. There's things like in school, like language lessons and what have you. How effective do you think this app is going to be, or this solution that you are offering? How do you think, it's going to be effective? Because you're looking at the ease, when it's one-on-one kind of, interpersonal, transaction. There is other stuff apart from just like, the words, the is body language, the stuff like that. And how, is it going to be effective for communication and stuff like that?
So I think in terms of that, I think in terms of how we're offering the language, the lesson is that we do get that sometimes some people, they can learn, you give them a book, they can read through that. They're fine with that. But we're also aware that some people with video, they would need to watch some videos. So those solutions we do also cater for. So we're not only offering you, there's a lesson plan, go through it. We just want to work, what's your style? What kind of learning do you require? Because and sometimes you find that people, I can concentrate, my concentration span is 30 minutes. After 30 minutes I can't hear you've totally lost me. So those are the things also that we cater for. We are trying to look at everything to cater for what specifically, how do you learn? So hence we also do have that consultation, just to get an understanding. What do you prefer, videos? Do you prefer, because it matters, as we say that, do you prefer being WhatsApp text? So we text on WhatsApp. So that's how we
awesome.
train.
I see.
Yes.
I see. It's quite a versatile and dynamic, solution. Well, talking about this kind of approach to language solving problems, language problem solving.
Right.
In terms of competition, what is that one thing that's going to set you apart? And I'm sure, I don't know, I think I believe you guys have done your research and which are the players that's already in existence,
right.
And stuff like that, and especially in the niche or target market you guys are looking at. How are you guys going to differentiate yourselves from the already existing competition? What is that competition, and how you guys can differentiate yourselves?
All right, and I think that in terms of competition, I think the customization is really one of the things that we are tapping into, right? And I think it's also the representation, because obviously there's a lack of representation when it comes to African languages, and which is one of the reasons why we tapped into this. And because I remember when we were doing our research, trying to find some players within the South African market, is that yes, there are some language learning apps, but you'd find that is that they're only offering English, right? If they're offering an African language, they're only offering one, right? And when you're trying to find a app that offers all language, you do not find that, which is where we are. That's where we want to go, to offer all South African languages. And on top of that, not only that, so once we've got and mastered the South African market, we did say that we want to represent Africa. Africa is not only in South Africa, right? Yeah. So Africa is huge. Yeah. So we then now look, once we've done that, we then now look at expanding to other African languages. And even the biggest player when it comes to languages, which is the ones that we know, Duolingo, is that you would find that sometimes is that, well, the African aspect part of it is probably only Swahili that they're offering, right? So we're now trying to come into that space where now we're saying that, okay, guys, once we've mastered this English and IsiXhosa, because obviously we're new into this, we need to know what we're doing. Yeah. We are now going to expand to other South African languages and then move into other African languages. Yes.
That's incredible, man. Well, I'll say it sounds incredible. Let me correct
I'll be back here when I was like, giving you the results when I come back.
We definitely need to see you here again. Cool. Because when you look at competition, there's I'll say three aspects usually that you need to like pay attention. Better, cheaper, faster. If you can do all these three, you'll knock your competition out. So I'm sure in terms of your prototype stages and stuff like that, you can look into that. Just like, so what are the future growth aspects? In terms of like, what are we looking at? I know you guys said you don't have a launch date yet. But it's definitely going to be launched. It's been launched on WhatsApp at the moment?
Yeah, the WhatsApp is there. So people can contact us on WhatsApp. But at the moment is that we're offering only the basic plan part of it, right? Because as you've mentioned, then when it comes to cheaper, our pricing, we need to do our pricing correctly, because as I said, it's a learning curve. Because what we had done is that we had come up with prices, and then when MTN, when they had a meeting, and they're like, so what did you guys base these prices on, right? And we're like, we thought these prices would be more appropriate.
You just conjured it.
Yeah, we're like, this will be fine. And they were like, no, you guys, you can't, because they first were like, it's way too cheap. It's going to cost, yes, as much as you want to offer a cheaper option, it's going to impact you at the end of the day. It's going to affect you. Because there's no point of saying you guys are a business when you guys are just making losses all the time, right?
It's for profit.
So as much as the social part of it, but you guys need to make pricing, so you need to make profit from it as well. So we're like, okay, if we don't get our pricing, we're going to pause on things until we get that pricing correctly. So I think so we just took back the pricing that we had, and now we say, okay, let's just use this time to create some marketing, and then we're offering that on our basic plan. But obviously, so we're now looking, as I've said, now into going back to the question, is that we are looking at expanding in terms of, obviously, as I mentioned, to other South African languages, right, as well as other African languages. And I think what also we are looking at as a company is that we do not only, because we know there are many problems, challenges when it comes to the education sector. Language is only one part. Language barrier is only one part of many challenges. So we want to structure ourselves in a place where we trying to find solutions within the education sector. So that's how we're looking at.
Man, that's incredible, man. Yes, I hope for the very best for you guys. Yes. And so if our listeners and viewers want to get in touch with you, they're like, okay, cool, man, I'm feeling you right now. Man, I've got a problem that I think you guys have the solution. How can they get in touch with you? Facebook, WhatsApp, any call, website, anything.
All right. So we are on most social medias, so they can look for Itaeta app. That's on Facebook, Itaeta app, Ithetetha app, right? And then for Instagram, we are Itaeta_app. And then if they want to contact us via WhatsApp, our numbers are 063 052 7109.
Cool. Say the number again.
So 063 052 7109.
Ladies and gents, that was Siyanda Snyman of Itaeta. Itaeta. My word, my bad. Itaeta. I speak. So thank you so much, Siyanda, for coming through. And guys, get in touch with him, man. Support young man and support the company. Support the solution that they are offering to this language barrier problem. We definitely need a lot of solutions with regards to that. I mean, I'm sure you have been in a situation where you wish like there was somebody who could like help you out, understand, the other language, like immediately. But unfortunately, you couldn't get somebody. Now with this app solution, I believe you'll be able to get everything on your phone. You'll be able to just contact somebody and they'll give you the solution right there. So the time now is 35 minutes past 1 p.m. We have had a 30-minute long conversation and we're going to listen to Looking Good and by Xavier Omar. Check you later, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks to you too.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
Right. So is that the end of it?
Yeah, boo.
That was a great conversation.